Welcome, everybody. It's Wednesday. Let me turn this off. There we go. There. I've got some interesting things planned for you tonight. Let me just make sure that's going and everything is squared away over there. All right. Welcome back to our live Wednesday. We're here every Wednesday, 6 p.m. on YouTube. And tonight I have some interesting things that we're going to talk about. One, we're going to be talking about urine therapy. We're also going to be talking about how to hold more light through food. And we're also going to be talking about the 5 foundational steps to starting a conscious community. Let's see what else. And there's an interesting energy update that just actually came in today that I wanted to share. It's really powerful and very important on our evolutionary path. So let's see who's here. Okay, good. We've got that there. I might be pausing more tonight. I told my editor I would do my best to eliminate the ums, the ahs, the so's, and so we'll see how I do. Welcome, Mantika. Great to have you here and everyone else. Let's talk about urine therapy first. Let's get that out of the way. So, I don't know about you guys, but I have been getting a lot of videos showing up about urine therapy. And I'm willing to try just about anything if it has a high frequency. And so, does this have a high frequency? Yes or no? And so the answer is it all depends. It all depends on how you're going to use it. So I do know that the big rage about urine therapy is that it has stem cells in it that can be quite therapeutic. So they say. And there are people that rave about it that have been drinking their urine for years and they look healthy. It hasn't killed them. And so I thought I would calibrate this for myself. Like, is that something I should be doing? Increasing my stem cells by drinking my urine? So I calibrated it. And for me, it's a hell no. This is waste from the body. I don't care if it has stem cells in it or not. So, as far as drinking it, it has a low frequency. This is waste. Now, if that's something you're into and you swear by it and you love it, great. That's great for you. I'm calibrating for myself. And if there's anyone here who uses urine therapy by drinking it, I'd be curious to measure how it calibrates for you. So, the people that I have calibrated that drink their urine, or I'll say I did one because this just showed up yesterday, that he did not have a high frequency for this. And so only time will tell how this turns out for him. There is, however, a beneficial use for it that I can't say that I have used yet, but I will likely. So, and that is, you've tried it. I know you've tried it. And tried is, so this is an ongoing thing. I will measure you, Krita, because I'm curious myself. So we're going to save questions for later. However, the one way that urine therapy is helpful is on your skin. So for me, that has a high calibration. So using stem cells, and when you ferment it over time, obviously that's what fermenting takes, that it increases the stem cells. So fermented urine would even be more beneficial to your skin. So I would think that if you, the best time to use it would be at night when people don't have to smell your skin. Is that you smell like pee? I don't know. It's kind of funny for me. But at any rate, maybe at night, and maybe you have a partner that doesn't care or whatever. I don't know. You have to work that out with your partner. But so I may try this and I'll report back. That is not why I currently look younger than my age, so I can't blame it on urine therapy. However, I think it's something that could be beneficial for your skin. I am not a fan of drinking it. So, because it doesn't have a high calibration. If it did, I'd be crazy enough to try it. So, anyway, that's my spiel on urine therapy tonight. I do have an interesting energy update. And you've heard me talk about anger, rage, and fury in the past. Now, these are not an increase of the volume of one of these energies, and it's just bigger and bigger and bigger. These are 3 different frequencies, and you can have 1 or all three to varying degrees. And there is a new energy that just emerged that may seem similar, but it's different. And this is all related to, well, I found it in a client today that was working on stepping into her feminine power. And the energy that was coming up was the energy of, it was a fierce energy. So, this fierce energy is different from anger. It seemed very intentional, on purpose, and like it would cut something out of your life that was not aligned anymore. And it would be very intentional and decisive in this cutting out, which seems different than fury, which seems sometimes a little bit out of control, or um, mm, I'm still feeling into, because this has happened today. I'm still feeling into the difference between these energies. But this felt very much on purpose and very intentional. And so it was a very interesting energy. And in reflection, just a little while ago, maybe a couple hours ago, this energy I realized was one that I experienced fairly recently, about a month ago. And to be honest, it felt very out of control. It felt very out of control. So I don't know how clean this fierce energy was, but it did very much create an intentional action that was very precise and happened quickly. Like, it moved the needle very quickly. It made things happen very quickly. And it was exactly what was needed. And it also incorporated a need to incorporate this or integrate it probably over a month. And the outcome, however, I'm pleased to report, turned out better than I had imagined. And so it's created new and closer conversations, and a relationship that was seemed ruptured, but then has repaired better than it was ever. So it is a new energy that has come up. I'll be looking out for it in my clients. And the beauty of this is that they can all be measured. So oftentimes, or previously, passion was confused with anger. And so people would talk about how passionate they were about something when really they were just using their angry energy. And so it's really more important that we tap into this these clean energies. So each of these energies serve a purpose. But passion is much more coming from inspiration. So this is an energy that can pull you forward, whereas this angry energy tends to be, tends to be more pushy. So this fierce energy is also different in that people might confuse fury with this fierce energy, but this fierce energy is cleaner and more intentional than fury, which just tends to burn things down because that's the nature of it. But this is much more intentional in its actions and its precision. So this will evolve over time, like all of these energies do, and create more clarity over time, which I will be sharing with you as these continue to unfold. So this is a brand new energy that I'm looking at, and we'll see how it goes. So that's a new energy update, just hot off the presses. All right, we did urine therapy. Okay, great. Um, This next one that I wanted to talk about, and then we'll entertain some questions. This next one that I wanted to talk about was the five, what I'm calling these five foundational pieces to starting an intentional community. So, number one is you need to have a theme. So, what does this co creation stem around? What are you all focused on? What is your vision? And this is let's see my notes here. Um, and I think it's really important that it becomes a community that is evolving together around a certain theme, so that it is like a perpetual becoming. You're continuing to evolve and grow, but you have an intentional purpose of what it's all around. So that would be the theme. The second piece would be the people. Obviously, that's what a community is, right? So the people need to have also a an alignment. And this is all being created through coherence. So, in the case of the community that I'm starting to build, now this is something that has evolved over time. Back in February was when I did an activation on communities. And so it seems like since then, Spirit is directing and guiding and fine tuning and focusing this intention so that now it's starting to finally become birthed. And so one of the first places was, how do you assemble the people? So in my case, I wanted to reach out first to people that I felt really aligned with, someone intentionally who is, well, I'll say someone who is a friend. So I think that's really a great place to start a community, is with people that you know you get along with and that are of a similar frequency of you. In the case of what I'm looking at building, are and this feels like a foundational community where I will or can help other people grow a similar community. And you'll see why this particular community is going to work. So the people are one, in my case, of what I'm building, they're all 12th dimensional beings. So they all operate from that level of frequency. They also, and so all of these things can be measured and calibrated. So there's no ego in any of these. These are also tend to be light workers or healers. And so there's that community, there's that intention in mind. They, I did, sorry. I have to get my glasses on for this. Hang on. He can edit all this parts out. Let's see. Okay, yes. So another part of the people part is you need a leader, but this is not like hierarchy, not like I'm the leader, and you have to follow me. This is more about coherence. So there needs to be like a foundational anchor point that everyone can create stability around. And so with that one person basically setting the tone for the whole community. And it's all based on coherence and alignment. And when you have people that are all operating from 12th dimension, you'll see in a moment why, another reason why this will all work. So there is that. Okay, so that's the people part. The third part is finances. So everyone needs to be able to contribute financially, either because they have an ongoing revenue source, so that needs to be important, all in a high mindset of high money mindset, high money frequency. So minimalism is not coming from a place of lack or lack mindset. It is coming from a place of efficiency. And so a lot of people who are minimalists are basically just poor people defining it as I'm a minimalist, well, when really they don't really have an abundant mindset. So that would be another part of the financial piece. Everyone needs to operate from a high money frequency so that they can not only bring their own financial resources to the pool, but also they can contribute in some way to generate a co-creative source of income for the whole group. So in our case, we're looking at running retreats as part of the co-creation. And excuse me, Part of this co-creation is also built around my horse. So he has been the instigation for a lot of this because I don't know if I want to get into the long story around the horse, but at many points, several points, I have wanted to find a new home for him. But the reality is, Spirit has brought us together for a very important reason. And a part of this is around healing. Now, he is an absolute unicorn, and he's only 2, so there would be a whole nother year before any of us can even ride him. So he's still in training. He's been in training for a year, and he still has at least another year of training. And there's lots of levels to that. One, teaching him groundwork so that he can be ridden. So that's one. But I noticed that I'm also working with him to help him fine tune his own abilities. Now, well, I'll tell you what I mean. So he actually has already saved another horse's life. At the other place we were staying, he was running around with a stick in his mouth. The owner was saying that he was chasing her. What he was really trying to do is he was trying to tell her something. So eventually what happened is he poked her horse in the eye. He ended up having to have surgery. But what happened was they found out that he had cancer in that eye. So Bodhi poked him in the eye to let everybody know where the problem was. So he is already working as a healer. There was another incident. I won't get into all the details around it, but he was plugging into the root chakra of a person that had a lot of, I'll say, toxic energy or like lots of fear, anger, rage, and fury. And so when my horse plugged into this person to try and heal them, it became overwhelming for him. So he didn't eat for like almost 2 days or barely ate. So once I discovered that whole scenario, then I was able to remove the cords of how he was cording to this person. And then he immediately started eating. So he's learning even how to manage his own abilities. Between the two of us, we're working together in that way. He has already been healing me big time for the last year, lots of heart stuff, because that's what horses are about. Lot of big heart energy. Their heart field is 10 times bigger than humans. And there's another thought I was thinking about the healing. It has escaped me. At any rate, they have a very big heart coherence, and that is a huge way that they help people heal. If the other part comes to me, I'll let you know. So this is part of the theme of the community that I'm building, is that this will, and I don't think he's going to be the only horse. It feels like there's going to be additional horses. Many of the people that are involved in this community are already horse people, in that they've either grown up around horses, had a horse, or the like. So that is talking about the financial piece of it, being able to have retreats at the place that we end up getting. And so that's also another part of the finance piece, is how do you, for everybody, it could be different, but how do you secure the place where you're going to have your community? So that's another piece that is unfolding for us. Number 4 would be timing. So what I mean by that is, like in our case, this can't happen tomorrow because there's lots of things that have to align with the universe. Like I have a lease, and that lease will be up at a certain time period. Funding and securing a loan takes a certain amount of time. Finding the right house also takes a certain amount of time. So there's a lot of timing pieces. But if these are anchored and written down, like all the pieces, then the universe knows what it's working with. And then that timeline can unfold appropriately. And then number 5, which I think is, in my opinion, the most important part of all of these pieces, because if you don't have this, it won't be sustainable and it will not work. And that is resolving conflict. So there's always things that come up when you assemble a group of people, right? So, number 1, if they're all at a high frequency and they are all operating from a 12th dimension, a lot of those things that people talk about when you have conflicts and so on, those are likely to not even exist because these are all high functioning people operating in a higher dimension. Number 2 is, or another part of this resolving conflict is that unresolved past lives will all be cleared amongst all members and all incoming members. And the way that all conflict gets resolved is through the infinity system that I use, that all of the people that are involved also believe in, they also support, they also use in their life. So when you have a system that can be applied to resolving conflict, so all anger, rage, and fury can be measured and calibrated, and these can be cleared, finding the source of it. When you're not operating from ego, a lot of these conflicts don't even arise. So when you have an aligned group of people that have a common focus and they're all intentional on evolving together, growing together, becoming more, it's a perpetual becoming, they're more likely to all get along. So those are the 5 foundational pieces. And I'm saying foundational because I'm right at the beginning of all of this. These are the foundational pieces to building a conscious community. So there is that. And, another piece that seems to be unfolding is our next 12-day program. We just finished one, so it won't be for another whole nother month, not till July. Yes, not until July is our next 12-day program. However, Spirit is moving all of this towards creating more conscious communities. So tomorrow is our next luminary activation. We do this every first Thursday of the month. So tomorrow is the first Thursday. And tomorrow we're going to be doing a 5D threshold activation. So we're going to be bringing everybody up into this higher frequency of the 12th dimension. So 3D is a lot of hard struggle, suffering. Everything is a challenge. Everything is just hard. To me, it's the greatest biohack to just bring people up into this 5th dimension, clearing all the things that are in the way of that so that you can experience more ease, more joy, more coherence, more magical manifestations. And so this is what we're going to be doing tomorrow. If you want to join us, the link is in my bio. The link is in the QR code. The link is on my website, KimberlySherry.com. So join us if that interests you. And so every month builds on the next. And so in July, we're going to be having the golden age activation. So it's just going deeper into what we're all building. Like we're not waiting for the golden age. We're not waiting for Nasar Jasar. We're not waiting for the solar flash. We're not waiting for the election. We are building because that's how it works. We are building this new reality, this new golden age. And in my opinion, this is why Spirit is directing creating these conscious communities. So they're happening you hear a lot of people talking about them, but it feels like this is some really important pieces on actually how to create it. So this is why Spirit is guiding each month, building on the next, so that come July, we are going to be doing this golden age activation. And then um, for the 12-day immersion, it is called The Future is Now, and it's all about sovereign living. So we're going to spend 12 days going through all the many, many parts of living a sovereign life. So if you want to join us for that, keep that on the back of your mind, because that's what we'll be doing there. Okay, one last thing I wanted to talk about is, oh, it was right here. Okay. The last thing I wanted to talk about, and then we'll entertain your questions, is how we can hold more light through food. So part of the purpose of having very healthy bodies, and why Spirit has been guiding me towards calibrating all of our body systems and body organs and so forth, measuring the millivolts of light in all of your body systems and body organs, is so that we can hold more light. We can hold more light in our physiology. And an important part of that, at least for now, until you're autonomous, is using food as a way to help us hold more light. So eating foods that hold light. So this is why there's a big direction, which is what Spirit is guiding me towards, which is fruitarian, becoming a fruitarian, or vegetarian. It's almost like I don't even want to use those words, because one, they have a big charge on them. And two, I just feel like I'm being directed towards foods that hold more light. Fruit holds more light, and fruit has been surprisingly satiating. I'm actually drinking very little fluids anymore, because fruit has so much structured water already in it. So the more of these foods that we can eat that have light, like fruit, like certain vegetables, that we're going to be holding more light in our physiology. So that's the direction I'm moving, just sort of organically and spontaneously. This has all happened since the retreat that I just led. And surprisingly enough, the week before the retreat, all I could eat was meat, which sounds crazy. I have done a meat fast before, but I thought it was interesting. It's like, really, why? This is the only thing I can eat. This is the only thing that satiated me. It was like I had to go way in the other direction to be able to come back to stasis. So this is where I am now, and maybe you are as well. So when I talk about this moving in the direction of autonomy, there's more and more people that are moving in this direction of only fruit, or fruit and vegetables, and then only fruit, and then moving towards no food. And then also the other part is that they end up not needing any sleep. So this is autonomy, where you are not dependent on anything but prana from the out zero field, the point field, I don't know, just from light and the pranic frequencies. So it's just something that I'm moving towards sort of organically, and I don't know, maybe you are too. But I'm happy to entertain all of your questions about any of this, and let's see who's here tonight. So welcome, everyone. All right, let's see what we have. Greetings, Michigan, Mantika. So Krita was talking about urine therapy, and Sophia's used it on her skin. Great. And Krita, I think that you wouldn't mind if I actually calibrated if this is good for you or not. Let me, okay, you've got quite a few comments here, so let me see. Anahara. Okay. That's Kathleen. This is quite curious and maybe not on my list, but if it kills the grass, right? If it kills the grass, like what else is it going to kill? I don't know, right? So there's something to be said for that. Hello from Little Rock. I'm new, just got your book. Great. I'm so glad you got that, Stacy. I have some physical issues with my spine. Can you help me? So, as you know, I am not a doctor, but I'm happy to look at the spine, your spine. So, one of the first things that Spirit is guiding me to look at it and calibrate is your bones. So, right now, that your bones are operating at a very low level, like 15%. So, likely not getting enough calcium. So let's also see. I also want to see, yes, you do have interference in your spine. So, right at the very top of your spine, where the skull and spine connect, right there at that juncture, there are about 20 cords that are from this ancient interference. So that needs to be cleared. There's another bunch, maybe two vertebrae down from that, another 20. And then maybe another vertebrae or two down from that, another 20. Right at the base of your neck, another 20. So it's just a lot of infiltration. So maybe the neck is really suffering, it looks like. Also, right behind your heart chakra, another 20. And behind your solar plexus, another 20. They go in groups of 20. Don't ask me why. These are programs. And then down in the that lower back, behind the second chakra, there's curses there, 100. And yeah, so that would all contribute to back problems. So I'm not doing clearings here, but I'm happy to let you know what there is so that if you know how, you can, great, you can clear it. And if you need help, then you can always sign up for help. Thanks for joining us today, Stacy. Sophia, I just wanted to tell you that the other day when I was doing your 20-minute meditation, I discovered another of my past lives. Great. You'll have to tell us about it. Okay, Krita. In my monk days, so Krita was a monk for a bit, we called it ferociousness. Yes, ferocity. And we were to use it to make a drastic shift to integrity or authenticity. Well, that makes sense because that's definitely what happened in my case. And the person that I was helping today, that is definitely a part of her story as well, stepping into more of her authenticity, clearing out with a decisive action that will clear away energies that are holding her back. So, yeah, thanks for sharing that, Krita. My horse is a gorgeous creature. He is that little unicorn. He's so cool. Sounds wonderful. Our conscious community, great. Kathleen, more horses, yes, and other animals as well. This is going to be incredible. Yes, it is. And let's see, Sophia, I'd like a scan on my malpractice lawsuit avatar. If possible, I have been trying to keep it grounded every day. Well, it's not grounded right now. So maybe that's part of the problem is you thought it was grounded, but it wasn't really. So in your avatar, right at the heart chakra, there's curses, about 50. And then at the root chakra, more curses, another 50. So that will help the avatar get grounded. Also in the third layer, right around the solar plexus, there are programs. There's about 50 programs in the third layer of the aura. Yeah. So I know you know how to clear all that, so that would really help that. So great. Elena, hello from Greece. Well, welcome. It's nice to have someone outside of the US here. So that's very, very welcomed. Star Holly, I felt rage today and it took a while for me to rid it. Let's see if you actually did. I know there's not a question here, but makes me curious. Yeah, you still have a lot of anger. The anger is at 100%, rage 100, fury 100. So what you did was you basically exited your body, not completely. You're still connected 3%. So you're only embodied 3%, and all of this anger, rage, and fury has basically is occupying your space instead. The part that's keeping all of this anger, rage, and fury in place is 50 of those programs in your root chakra. So these are brought to you by AI, ancient interference. So they're keeping this in place through these programs that are in your root chakra. So that needs to be cleared. Also in your sixth chakra, there are curses, 100 curses. At your crown, also more curses, about 100. So this is all contributing. The curses are meant to also keep you angry. So now you know what's available to clear, and then you can feel the difference between having all this anger, rage, and fury in your field and being clear. All right, thanks for sharing. Nancy wants to check her thyroid and immune system. You're on day 2 of a liquid fast, okay? Thyroid is at 15%. There are programs in your root chakra, about 50, that are keeping that thyroid diminished. In the root. Yeah, okay. And then your immune system is also compromised at 15%. So there are various parts to the immune system. One being the thymus gland it's like at your heart chakra. That's at 15%. Programs at the root chakra are keeping the thymus diminished. Your lymphatic system also only 15%. And this is an important part to keep clear, especially during your fasting. Again, at the root chakra, 50 more programs, which is affecting your lymphatic system. You wanted to look at your immune system, but I'm inclined to look at your elimination system. So the lymph is the main part, kidneys, 15, adrenals, which govern, Krita's going to appreciate this, that I get this. I get what he was talking about during the retreat. So the adrenals govern the kidneys. That's also at 15%. Your pituitary gland governs the adrenals. That's also only at 15%. And then the part that holds it all together, which is a really critical part, in my opinion, also related to all of this, is your fascia, which feeds into the lymph, kidneys, etc. So the fascia is also only at 15%. So I would get busy clearing the programs at your root chakra that are designed to keep all of those parts diminished so that they're not functioning properly. And that could be rechecked at another time. Thanks for asking, Nancy. So Sophia's telling us about the past life that she just remembered. She was a baby in the womb in the past life, and you were aborted. Ooh, but I remember about 12 weeks and you went back to source. Oh, interesting. I'm sure there's more there. Thanks for sharing. Okay, Elena. Kimberly, it seems that my organs on my left body half might need support than the on the right side. For example, left eye side is weaker than the right. BP, blood pressure. I'm not sure if blood pressure is one-sided unless you mean something else by BP. So usually, when you're one-sided, it's an imbalance in the masculine and feminine polarities. So if your left side is weaker, the left side is the feminine side. So likely not embodying your feminine energy. Let's measure it. So your feminine energy overall is only 15%. So at your root chakra, there are programs, about 100 programs in your root chakra that are basically programming you to believe that the feminine energy is a weak energy. And people don't want to be weak. So they will hold down or diminish their feminine energy because of these programs. So that's part of it. There's also about 10 past lives that you're currently working on that are related to having been killed in a female body, but the imprint was that you were being killed because you're a woman. And so that also wants you to diminish your feminine energy because it doesn't feel safe to be in the female body. So those are just two things I'm noticing when you're talking about this left side, right side body imbalance. That would be my suggestion. Balance the two polarities. All right, Krita, about the urine therapy, my muscle testing says yes. I've been chatting with someone who uses it for everything. It didn't taste bad, but I think also depends on diet, but it kind of burnt. Well, I'm going to calibrate it, okay? Your muscle testing, you're getting a yes. So what does drinking urine for Krita vibe at? 500. So that's like, I like chocolate. And although I'm sure it doesn't taste like chocolate, but I'm just, when you like something, then it can work, but I don't think it's contributing to you being in a high frequency. I'll just say that. You might be better off just using it on your skin. But you do you, and see how it goes. Well, here's something that just came to mind, which is, because sometimes this can work too, that you might be able to clear something that then will bring it to a higher frequency. So let's see if that's the case, since we're here sort of experimenting. Let's see if there's something in Krita that needs to be cleared. No, it's just 500. So carry on. All right. Elena wants to know, is there a correlation to the receiving and how to clear it? Yes. In your case, if you were asking, are you the one that was asking about the... Yes. Okay. You're the one who was asking about the left side, right side. So yes, your left receiving hand is also blocked, which means you're going to have a hard time receiving. So you're probably a great giver, but have a hard time receiving. So that left receiving hand is blocked with programs, 50 programs in that left hand that are blocking your ability to receive. So that needs to be cleared as well for all of your left-right stuff. All right, let's see what Jill has to say. Hi, Kimberly. Can you look into my roof leaks and anything needed to clear, get fixed correctly? All trades coming Friday to figure out solution. However, want to make sure I've released what I need. I believe we were clearing someone. I don't think it was you. I can't remember, but it had to do with leaky bedroom, or not a leaky bedroom, a leaky plumbing that flooded their bedroom. I think that's what it was. At any rate, we'll see if there's something in you that is causing this leaky energy. If it was you, maybe it was you, and we cleared I was telling you about the grief. Yes. Okay. So in your root chakra, there are programs, about 50. These have a fury in them. So likely this roof leak is creating fury for you, and it's a good thing it's not raining, or it would be quite furious. Let's see. That's the only thing I'm finding at the moment. Grief is only 15% at your root chakra. So when you clear these programs, it will likely clear that grief in your root chakra. But it looks like all the energetic stuff has been taken care of. All right. Blood pressure and kidneys and adrenals. There would be two different blood pressures. The kidney is like a bilateral system, and each adrenal controls each side of the body's blood pressure. I did not know that. That's very fascinating. But when they check your blood pressure, they only check one side. So what's up with that? So I don't know. I don't know about that. But thanks for sharing that information, Krita. That's new to me. Selma, I just joined. Why are you sorry? You should be happy that you just joined. Happy to catch at least a bit of live. Yes, we've got like 5 minutes left. So you can listen to the recording when that shows up. Because we talked about some really great things tonight, didn't we, guys? Yes, it was the master bedroom with grief. Yes. And we did clear a lot of grief in that session that we had together. So it looks like the only thing left, Jill, is the black boxes in the root chakra. Here is Life is Abundance would like help with her sciatica. Okay, let's see. As you know, I'm not a doctor, but I will see what I can tell. So number one, you have no grounding cord. So that is really energy 101. No grounding cord means all of your systems are going to be off. You can't release the energies that get built up. There's nowhere for it to go. So this is why we need an effective grounding cord. So there's also no energy coming into the bottoms of your feet. So that's blocked. So you're not bringing in earth energy that can clear the channels of your legs, thus your sciatic. Also, the lower part of the spine is an important part that feeds into the sciatic nerves. Right at the very top of the spine, you do have some infiltration, about 20 of those AI cords. And what happens at the top of the spine is going to be mirrored at the bottom of the spine, which feeds into your sciatic nerves. So there's that. Also at the base of your neck, another 20 of those AI cords. Behind the heart chakra, behind the solar plexus. So in each of these places, there's 20 of those AI cords. And then behind your second chakra, which is going to be above the sciatic. And then right in the sciatic, so right at the top of the sciatic, and also towards the bottom, but not all the way to the bottom. More cords. So there's a lot of places that could be cleared along your spine that are also going to contribute to having the energy flowing so that the sciatic nerves can function properly. If you don't know how to start with any of that, join us tomorrow for our luminary activation. So you can start getting grounded. We do all of this. We do the whole process of running your energy, getting you ultra grounded. There's 5 parts to getting just grounded. So when people say, "Oh, I ground every day," well, do you really get grounded? So there's 5 parts to getting ultra grounded. We're going to do all of that tomorrow during the luminary activation. We're going to clear all the parts that are blocked that are creating havoc in your life. So whenever there's energy that's blocked in our field, it's going to show up somewhere in our life. So the most common thing that people experience during these clearing sessions is feeling calmer, more grounded, more present, sometimes more tired if they're now back in their tired body. Sometimes the opposite. They have more energy because now things are flowing, more clarity. So come with your intentions. We're going to be getting into the 5th dimension tomorrow. So if you've been struggling in 3D, you want to get out of the hard struggle, join us tomorrow. All right, let's see what else we got. It's right at the top of the hour. Let's see if we've got anything urgent. Well, your your message is a little cryptic. It says, "Is this with removing 50 black boxes on the left hand for receiving, like to removing automatically daily?" Um, doing anything automatic to me sounds less intentional. So you might check your left hand every day when you run your energy to make sure that it is moving through. The most important part of especially listening to the recorded meditation is to really pay attention to what's going on in your body. A lot of people do this meditation, but they're just going through the motions. And then they come here and, "Oh, what? I'm not grounded. I've been doing your meditation every day. Why am I not grounded?" Well, you haven't been paying attention. So you have to really pay attention to what's going on so that you can tell the difference between, "Oh, now I'm grounded," or, "I'm not grounded." So tomorrow, if you don't really know the difference or you have a hard time telling, come join us so that you can experience what it feels like to be grounded fully in your body and have way more joy and ease and etc. So that would be my suggestion about that. Yeah, and so if you have to work when we happen to be doing they're all recorded. As a matter of fact, pain during the moon cycle. So that, yeah, it's a bigger issue. Come back to next week and we could answer that. I was just thinking. Oh yes, the recordings. So these are recorded every week, so you can always just listen to the recording, and you can come just for the one. You could just come for the one time, and then you'll have the recording available. However, I think this is probably the smartest move if you really want some help with your ascension, accelerating your evolution. There is a subscription that then will give you access to the entire year. We're already into June. So the first 6 months, you can just listen to all of those in succession. Each one builds on the next. So you can get up to speed with where we are now. It's like getting 5 months for free because it's an annual subscription. And then you can just join us live or listen to the recordings for all the future lives that we're going to have for the rest of the year. So that's just a bonus tip for really kind of getting the biggest bang for your buck. It's like getting five 5 of these activations for free. So you might consider that as well. And otherwise, we will see all of you who are going to join us tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Pacific time for the activation, the 5D threshold activation. We're going to get everybody up into 5D so you can start experiencing an easier, more harmonious, joyful life. I'll see you in the morning. All right, blessings.